Hello, one and all. Welcome to another vlog, and it's a very important one too. The Nintendo Switch was revealed yesterday. As you're wondering why I have this out the day after the initial reveal instead of the day before, it's mainly because I'm kind of going through a bit of a cold now. Recording yesterday was a bit difficult, so yeah. But anyway, Nintendo Switch, I have to say, it is as expected, honestly. For months now, we've been hearing rumors about the Nintendo Switch being this console hybrid thing. My biggest curiosity was how are they going to make this work? But seeing it here, it's very simple. So basically, the design overall is it looks very cubular. It looks smaller than the Wii U. Like the base model with the tablet and everything inside looks smaller than the Wii U, which I have to say is a bit of a good thing. Not to say that Wii U is bulky, it's just that with space being an issue for some people, you don't want to have big bulky systems in the way. So smaller the better. Nintendo has been pretty good at keeping their console sizes relatively light. Uh, Even the GameCube was relatively light. Now I think about it. Anyway, uh, the size of it is pretty small, but the main thing about it is the tablet portion, or I'm going to call it the tablet of Nintendo Switch. To basically speaking, it's a console. As I said earlier, it's a console handheld hybrid, and there's a small, like a large tablet in the middle of it that you can pull out of the dock, which is the console itself. And the tablet itself is actually the console, not the dock. The dock is just sort of like a projection slash charging dock, where it basically sends the signal from the game to the TV, and when you pull it out of the dock, the console itself is more visible. Essentially, it's like the Wii U screen. Essentially, it's water large for like essentially it's the size of a large tablet, or like the whole Wii U, the whole Wii U pad, not just the screen portion, like the whole thing. And you take the sides of the controllers off, the side of the controller off, and you're able to dock it onto the tablet and use that as your gaming portion, so you can play on the go. On top of that, from the trailer that we've seen, I can't show it to you because Nintendo loves YouTube copy bots, and I've already been copyright right. I've already gotten a copyright strike recently. That's a funny story. I'll talk about that once that's resolved. Okay, so basically speaking, it looks to be a cartridge-based system, which I have to say is pretty good. In terms of technology, we've actually reached a point where it doesn't matter if you have cartridges or disc, because again, when it comes to storage space, they're both pretty equal with the Blu-ray disc and micro SD cards, which can hold a lot of gigabytes, or a lot, almost depending on which ones you buy, they can hold up to a full terabyte, which is pretty impressive. So basically speaking, the cartridges, really cool idea to see them back, especially seeing Nintendo return to cartridge-based stuff. I mean, they have continued somewhat cartridges with the style of the DS and whatnot cartridges, and Sony for a time was also using cartridges for the Vita after they stopped using discs for the PSP, which I'd say was probably the best upgrade from the Vita to PSP. Was that they stopped using discs to the cartridges. And from that mention, you can tell I'm a very handheld gamer, and I have to admit, most of my collection of games are handheld games. I've been increasing my PC collection recently, and I have a good sized console collection. But again, I am a strong handheld gamer. I prefer in any given moment just grabbing my DS or my Vita and playing that as opposed to turning on the console. I will do it, but I just love using my handhelds, and on top of that, I can take them wherever I go. And with this, I'll be able to do that with the Nintendo Switch, which I have to say is a pretty big improvement, like a really big step. And again, it's a pretty big step to see this console handheld hybrid system, and I have to admit I like what I've seen so far. So I don't know specs. I know they probably mentioned specs somewhere out there. I haven't seen them myself. We don't know a price. We don't know a release date. Currently the rumor going around that it's going to be $300, and it's going to be March 2017, which would be pretty close and be a pretty good price, honestly, for a new console. As for games we don't know much about right now. Games in the trailer we saw Breath of the Wild. Of course, we saw some more Breath of the Wild stuff. This was the big thing that they're this was the big thing they said was going to come out on the console. They were going to have Breath of the Wild on it, and I have to admit, it's like Breath of the Wild is going to be very compared to Twilight Princess now because with Twilight Princess it was released on the GameCube and the Wii when it came out, and now this one will be released in that odd middle point between consoles, but on the Wii U and the Switch, which I have to admit is pretty cool. And I'm probably gonna do what I did with Twilight Princess and just get the Switch version whenever I get Nintendo Switch because again it's the first part Nintendo product. I'm probably gonna get it, so that means we're gonna get another Smash Brothers in like a year or two, which I have to admit, considering the fact that we finished up the whole Smash DLC stuff a little bit earlier this year, I think the time is a bit right. Like early this year, I think the time is right for a new Smash, and we have rumors that they're gonna have a Pokemon game on there, and Skyrim's gonna be on it. That's right, Skyrim. In the trailer, you can see them playing Skyrim, which is pretty impressive. Breath of the Wild is often compared to Skyrim, so it's kind of funny that you have two options to play, Skyrim-esque video game. Also, in the trailer, we saw what looked to be a new Mario Kart. Now, a lot of people say it's Mario Kart 8, but from the mechanics and from the way it looked, having played Mario Kart 8 a lot, it does not look like Mario Kart 8. On top of that, King Boo's shown, and King Boo isn't a playable character in Mario Kart 8. And aside from that, we saw what looked to be a new Splatoon from the customization features of hairstyles, which aren't a customizable feature in the current Splatoon. And we saw what looked to be a new Mario game, a new 3D Mario game in the style of 3D World. Now, how do you know it's not? How do you know it's not 3D World again? Well, the stage is totally different from any stage in 3D World. For those of you who've played it or haven't played it, so that's a total of five or six confirmed games with Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, Splatoon game, a Mario Kart game, a Mario game, and the Pokemon game that Game Freak said that they were going to make on the Wii U. There's also the new Sonic game coming out. There's 7 games that have already confirmed to be coming out for the Switch. So 7 games. I don't know if any of these are launch titles. I have to imagine that Breath of the Wild is going to be a launch title. Skyrim might be a launch title. The Pokemon game I don't even have a trailer for, so it's probably going to be later down the line. These 3 games look like they're later in development, so they might be launch titles, if not coming out sometime around a console launch, like maybe the winter months probably. And Sonic, I imagine Sonic might be a launch title for the Switch. Yeah, think about it. The game is supposed to be coming out around the springtime, isn't it? But they haven't given a release date yet, but I have heard rumors that they are planning to have this game out around the springtime to the fall time. So this may be a Sonic game as a launch title on the Nintendo system. I know, like, diehard Sega fans are losing their shits over that very concept, but still, it's pretty hilarious to think about. Anything else about the Switch? Not much. Again, we don't know a lot. The trailer that we just got was just a reveal trailer. Essentially, I've heard it been called an elevator pitch trailer, and they're right, it pretty much is that. And I'm happy with what we got. I enjoyed looking at it. I enjoyed everything about it. At the same time, I want more. Nintendo's been getting better with their marketing a bit. Like, one of the biggest problems with the Wii U was the fact it wasn't marketed 100%. A lot of people were thinking it was just, upgrade that you would get for your Wii, and then find out it was a whole new console. So it looks like Nintendo's learning from lessons of the past and are basically being a lot more forward with their marketing. You kind of see that now with Pokemon, because again, with previous Pokemon generations, they would just have, Koro release a trailer every so often, leave it all a big mystery until the games come out. But with X and Y and Sun and Moon, they've been upfront about it all, showing off all this stuff. Trailers keep coming out. Like we almost get like a new trailer once a month since Sun and Moon have been officially announced. We almost have a new trailer once a month, and Nintendo has been getting a lot better at marketing. They had I imagine that damn, I'm losing my focus. I imagine that we'll be getting a lot more next stuff coming up sometime soon because they're probably going to announce when it's going to be released because it's really late in its development cycle. So the devs already have their kits, they already have their models ready to test out new games and whatnot on it. They probably have had it for months now. We're just going to talk about it, and we have like it'll probably be released relatively soon. Like that March release date everyone keeps mentioning, it's believable. It's honestly a believable release date for a new console. Right before the summertime hits out, you know, if they're not going to release it during the winter, they're going to release it during the summer. If they do announce, oh, it's coming out around December, that's going to be a major surprise because that would be like the biggest mind blow of all time, like when the Sega Genesis was announced. But I don't think they're going to repeat the Sega Genesis thing uh, because there are only really two times that are best to release a new console, and that's before the summer comes out or during the winter because Christmas sales and more people will be home during the summer, so you got your sales then. So yeah, the release of this system is going to be an amazing one because it's too late. It's almost too late for it to be released for this winter, and I don't think it's going to be late next year. So that March 2017 release date is pretty plausible. You know, again, we just have to wait on more game announcements. There's almost guaranteed to be a new Smash Bros. As I stated earlier. We got Breath of the Wild. We got that upcoming Mario game that looks interesting. A new Splatoon which looks interesting. That Pokemon game that they rumored. The new Sonic game that's going to be on the system alongside all the other systems. Skyrim again because the people. I mean, getting at Skyrim, so I'm pretty sure there are going to be a bunch of people playing it because Skyrim. And I've gone on for almost 12 minutes just about what's essentially a 6-minute demo, a 6-minute just look at this trailer, and that's kind of what I love about Nintendo. This console is essentially a big game changer, something completely new. And unlike with the Wii and the Wii U, not everybody's complaining about motion controls or whatnot. This is essentially Nintendo continuing with the Wii U formula, only they've improved on it a significant amount, and I love that concept. I liked the Wii U. I still like the Wii U. My only problem is that there weren't that many games on it, and now they're fixing the issue with a whole bunch of games coming out on the Switch. They have like in the trailer they have this big thing with this all these developers are developing for this system, and it's like, oh, I love you. I love this, Nintendo. I love it. Because essentially they're not developing around like hand motion controls or a tablet device. This time they're developing for essentially like the PS4 and the Xbox One, but there's this thing the console itself can do that shouldn't affect the game at all. It's just something the console itself can do, and that's brilliant. It allows for more third-party support and everything. So again, we just gotta wait on like full specs, like battery life, price, release date, everything. And I'm excited. I honestly am excited for this new system. And I'm excited. I'm just excited for this new system. I want it. If I had the money for it, I would be rushing out to basically tell Nintendo headquarters and say, "Give me one now!" with a wad of cash in my hand, or realistically a card of some kind. So yeah, Nintendo Switch looks pretty promising, looks pretty awesome, and I can't wait to see what it has in store for us all. Good job, Nintendo. Really good job. So, till next time, everybody.